Normally when both myself and Kyo make a video about the same topic, I make an effort to do my own research, grab my own screenshots, and make my own video, but I'm actually going to do a more reaction style video this time. And I think it'll make sense why in just a moment. So let's start with the first clip from this video and we'll kind of jump off from there.
So Mr. Riaz, as I'm sure you all already know, will be graduating and leaving Nijisanji later this month. And while he unfortunately hasn't been able to leave peacefully due to the amount of haters he has consistently bothering him, however, in today's story, we're honing in on just one of those people, as Mysta has actually snapped back at this person. It started with Mysta making a tweet talking about how he wants to stream, but his day just wasn't going all too well due to throwing up in public. A fan then replied to this telling him not to stream, in which Mysta asked if this was a challenge.
So the first thing I want to comment on really quickly is the fact that so many streamers, and not just VTubers, make so much content. They spend hours a day, sometimes every single day, making content for their fans, even when they're not feeling well, even when they're sick, even when their mental health isn't at its peak. And the fact that when they hear something like "don't stream, I swear to God," and interpret that as a challenge, I think that really goes to show why so many content creators get burned out. I myself take frequent breaks and go days without making videos because I know I'm gonna get burnt out crazy fast if I do this shit every single day. So I just want to take this moment to tell anyone who wants to become a content creator to please take breaks and not interpret every obstacle in your way as a challenge. And if you get burnt out, you're gonna want to quit and potentially leave forever. And trust me, constantly grinding out content for the sake of making content just to eventually peter out and give up is a much worse option than pacing yourself, making sure everything is the highest possible quality it can be, and taking care of yourself so you can do this for as long as possible. That's the ideal way to go, and I feel like content creators who don't take the approach that I'm suggesting end up doing what Mysta does and graduating.
And this is where we get a reply from the Mysta hater, who has since deleted the original tweet, so I can't see what it is. But Mysta responded to it with, "My dude is trying to cancel me with out of context clips when I'm literally leaving the company in 2 weeks." So the clip is probably something I've covered on the channel before when people were trying to cancel Mysta in the past, because it happens all the time. They'll usually take a few seconds to a minute from a clip of Mysta saying something completely out of context and try to use that to cancel him on Twitter. This has unfortunately been going on for a while now with him.
Anyone who frequently searches for VTuber clips doesn't have to go very far before they find clips with misleading titles. Now, more often than not, the clickbaity titles are obvious and fairly benign. It doesn't take too many brain cells to rub together to realize that these two probably weren't actually making out on stage.
Oh yeah. This is the best kiss of my life.
Obviously, this clip is hilarious, and even though the title is a little bit clickbaity, it's all in good fun and nothing damaging was actually done. Love this type of shit, right? But I hope this also illustrates that it really isn't that difficult to use a little bit of a misleading and clickbaity title and take a few moments out of context to make it look like something is happening that actually isn't. And even though in this case, it's just all for the memes as intended, I hope it's relatively obvious how just the weird and crazy shit that streamers say, taken out of context, can be used to make them look absolutely terrible, and how that could translate into real and genuine damage to their reputation.
But continuing on, another fan replied to Mysta with, "They shamelessly reply their no context clips to you and other mistakes, yet lock their account when noticed. LMAO, people have no life, what the fuck." Showing where this person has protected their tweets now that Mysta has replied, which got Mysta to check their account and reply back to this person with, quote, "They changed their bio. Listen, Horayo, we know who you are, so does my company. The only thing I need to, quote, consider being wrong for once about is the fact that I even for 1 second thought you could change over the past 2 years. I hope you look at yourself in the mirror tonight and really have a good look. You were given a chance to be someone. You were given the opportunity to have education. You were given the opportunity to use the internet. You were given the opportunity to live life comfortably. Your mother went through hell to even conceive you and give you these chances. I feel ashamed for her. I know you are reading this. We all do. Fix yourself. Get help. It's been 2 whole years. I'm leaving. I'm moving on with my life. Please start yours."
And now we get into the crux of the video and why I wanted to make this video a reaction in the first place. Kyo kind of just drops this and then doesn't provide a ton of commentary about this, whereas I really want to dive into this tweet because this statement has so many things that I would consider to be absolute bombshells, and it's so bizarre that this is kind of just glossed over. First of all, you'll notice that the username is YukoCon, but you'll notice that Mysta calls them Harayo, and they specify that this person has been harassing Mysta for over 2 years. I really cannot let it go understated how absolutely wild that is. Not only does he says, "We know who you are," he also says, "So does my company." The reason this is incredibly relevant and needs to be dived into in more detail is because if you remember, if you've been paying attention to the VTuber news space, you know that AnyColor, the company that owns Niji Sanji, has been aggressively pursuing lawsuits against those who would harass their talents. We know for a fact, for an absolute fact, that bad actors have had years-long campaigns of doxing, harassment, stalking. Like, the amount of shit these livers have to go through is absolutely baffling. And the fact that Mysta was able to pick up on this random burner shitposting account and immediately recognize them as one of their long-term haters is absolutely wild. It's hard to put into words what Mysta is probably going through right now and what he's probably gone through in the past. He stated that the reason he left was more than just burnout, and I feel like this perfectly encapsulates what he's talking about. It truly is more than just generic content creator burnout. He's been dealing with someone actively trying to ruin his reputation with out-of-context clips for 2 years. And then AnyColor found out who they were. They know who this person is. And look at the commentary here. You were given a chance to be someone. You were given the opportunity to have an education. These are not the type of things you say to a random internet shitposter. You don't tell someone who's sent you a random hate tweet, "Your mother went through hell to even conceive you and give you those chances." This is personal. This is very personal. Use this as an opportunity to understand and respect how much shit streamers deal with on a regular basis and still stream every single day with a smile on their face, being entertaining and engaging while they're catching this level of hate. So number one, just appreciate these content creators for what they do, because it's hard for them. Number two, it's entirely possible that the reason we see so many graduations in this space is because of hate. The culture of just ignore the trolls, while I understand that sentiment, the fact that content creators do usually ignore the trolls means that we, the audience, might not be able to sympathize with why they want to graduate and do other things, or why these people snap and go ballistic and do things that no normal person would actually do. Remember when Rushia was getting harassed and everyone was wondering why she would go to a drama tuber and just throw a whole bunch of sensitive information at them, all to just dispel a couple of internet rumors? It seems like a wild decision from the outside looking in. But hopefully this gives context to when people do crazy shit like that. This is the type of shit that they're dealing with. It's hard for an outside perspective to understand the stress that they're under that motivates them to do things that we consider drastic. And the third and final thing I want to say about this specific post is I just want you to imagine how many big VTubers have probably graduated and rebranded just as an attempt to escape a handful of persistent haters who they hope won't follow them to their new personality. I have to imagine that's happened at least once, if not countless times.
The screenshot attached showing the hater's Twitter bio that reads, "Doing this for your own good, Mysta. Just consider that you may be wrong for once in your life."
Genuine question. What the fuck does that actually mean? How is seething at a VTuber on the internet doing it for their own good? How is this any way for their good? Just consider that you may be wrong for once in your life? Wrong about what? I know speculation is frowned upon in this space, but I have to speculate here and wonder if YukoCon Harayo didn't know Mysta personally before they became a VTuber, because I just cannot fathom any other reason why they would make a comment like this. In what universe does taking out of context clips from their streams and framing it to make them look bad something you would do for their own good to convince them that they're wrong? What level of delusion are they on? This is genuinely weird.
And you would think the situation would end there, no reason for it to really continue any further, however it did. Another fan replied to Mysta saying, "Facts King, don't pay attention to shitty people and better use that time to rest, we love you." With Mysta replying, "It's sad that I gave more time and dedication to writing my reply to them than their whole family has their entire existence, because they just see a sack of meat and bones slowly rotting in their computer seat, replying to a 2D JPEG man every day."
That was absolutely brutal. Holy shit.
Then we had the person changing their bio again in response to Mysta, with a fan bringing it to Mysta's attention. The new bio reads, "My dude Mysta is talking about changing for the better when he cries about being cancelled whenever somebody suggests he does." This getting Mysta reply one final time, quote, "This is proof that time and dedication leads to disappointment with this child. They proved me right and I didn't even have to do anything other than use my thumbs on my phone while chilling on my bed watching Family Guy, eating strawberries and chocolate." And that was the end of that. The person's Twitter account now just links to a 4chan board talking about this situation. Sucks Mysta had to even give this person attention, but I guess after 2 years of constant replies from someone trying to quote cancel you, it would get pretty damn annoying. So good for him for doing this.
What's bizarre is I have genuinely no idea if Mysta is calling them a child as an insult or if he actually knows that this is a child. Because keep in mind, according to Mysta, he knows who this person is. There is a very real chance this is just an actual child. And I also just want to point out the level of petty you have to be to block somebody and private your account, but because you are so dead set on talking shit, you change your profile picture to an image of what you want to tell them because you know they're gonna read it. The level of petty, like, I'm gonna block you so that you can't talk shit to me, but I'm still gonna continue to read all of your responses and reply to you in the header of my Twitter profile because I am incapable of not talking shit. Please, for the love of God, never get to the level of petty where your desire to talk shit means you're changing your bio in response to someone's comments about you. Just quit, my dude. Just give up. Stop talking shit for 5 minutes. So hopefully it's clear why I wanted to do this as a reaction and give my full opinion about this situation. And obviously, I know I say this on every video, but honestly, genuinely, factually, I want to hear what everyone thinks about this in the comments down below. What do you think of Yuko-kan, aka Harayo? I'm genuinely excited to read the comments section on this one. You have no idea. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!